Hi, this is Rowena Patton, founder of Cash CPO and all the derivatives. We're going to do a fast run through for the basic cash offer for Cash CPO and the other derivatives. So the funding partner has been purchasing thousands of homes since 2017. We go ahead and purchase the house. The seller gets 70% up front. They choose their closing date. That could be as early as 14 days. They can get their money to 90 days. The seller chooses the move-out date. Buyer agent gets paid at second close. But you do get paid for representing the funding partner on the stage one. I usually take 1%. You can choose whatever commission you want to make the deal work. We go in, we do HGTV magic on the home, then you get the CPO listing. If you're on a team, it may be that you represent on the buyer side and you split it out with a listing agent on the listing side. We sell the home, the seller gets the second check. The net for a seller is 90 to 120% of the traditional listing. The difference is no showings, nothing to fix up. The seller can make a non-contingent offer on our new home or move on to whatever they're doing. Maybe they're getting divorced. Maybe they're moving into assisted living. Let's look at assisted living CPO. There are 30 facilities within 30 minutes drive for most agents. The average facility has 39 rooms or units. Most facilities have wait times of 6 months to 8 years. I've got one locally that is over 8 years. Seniors stay on average of 29 months. They stay in the facility, whatever kind of facility it is, for 29 months. So they've been on a wait list, right? The wait list, it might be 6 months, it might be 8 years. Finally, they get the call. And it's very exciting at first because finally they've got the call. They've been calling the marketing manager for the facility, sometimes for years. Billy's broken his leg. We really need to get in. They're calling him on a monthly basis. It's very hard for the assisted living managers to deal with. And finally they get the call. Okay, we've got one ready. And then they realize they've got to sell their house. Now, many of them are working on 2 years ago mentality where, oh, it's no problem at all because it will sell in a day. But we're not there anymore. So it gets very, very stressful. Most places have a 72-hour to a 2-week window where they have to sign the contract. Obviously, the facility wants to, fill that unit. They don't want it. They don't want that vacancy just sitting there. Seniors most often have homes that need a little work. They have small dogs. They maybe don't move so fast. And the vast majority of seniors are going to embrace no showings, no fixing up, and help with packing up and everything else that goes into moving a senior into assisted living. So what do you actually do to make the appointments? I'm assisted living manager. I work with hundreds of buyers and sellers who often ask for a recommendation on a facility such as yours. I'd love to come and do a tour. It's a 99% hit rate because they are marketing managers. It's their job to tour people around, and you're a multiplier for them like they're a multiplier for you. It's not just one couple that wants to come and look around or one senior that wants to come and look around. So very easy. We have a whole shop. We've got outfits for you that are very nicely embroidered, and yes, we've got them for ladies too, of course. Take the book in with you. Say, we wrote the book on assisted living. Open it to that page. We've got postcards that you can leave behind. Very, very easy. And you ask them a series of questions that you can see here. They're very simple questions. They're all check boxes, so it doesn't take very long to put them in. You can handle it on your phone if you need to. You're just checking the boxes on there. That's going to give us a massive map, data map of assisted living all over the country eventually that come back to you. The leads come back to you as the agent. When you're done with going through all those questions, you can have a more intelligent conversation. I know your wait list is long. I know probably Maud and Billy are calling you every week. We'd like to help you with that. And most importantly, help your seniors transition with more grace. Like, it's so much less stressful for them. We can get them money within 2 weeks. The majority of their equity in 2 weeks. We go in, we go clean up the house. You've moved them in at that point, and almost always they get more money for their home. They get 90 to 120%. They've got no showings. They don't have to worry about all the stuff in the house. They don't have to fix anything up once it's going through that transaction. So it really is a no-brainer. Usually you will leave with the facility manager being absolutely wowed by you. We've got lots of videos on this with our VPs talking about how easy the appointment was and how they're thrilled by this opportunity, because there is nothing like it out there. They may be working with a real estate agent already. However, that real estate agent almost always does not have A, cash offer, and B, a full market value cash offer, which is what this is. So what does it look like for you as an agent? You started a field agent. We haven't seen any markets so far that is below. So we're working here on this example at a $400,000 price point. So at your $400,000 price point, I'm going to show you the number of facilities this takes in a minute. And if you go to, say, 3 or 4 or 5 a week, I've got somebody that did 10 in 3 days. It's not hard to get into them. It just depending on how many you get to see. We work on 30. So it takes a few weeks. If you're busy in real estate or you've got another job, or most of our VPs are in business management roles, it might take you a little bit. You might be able to do 3 or 4 a week, in which case it's going to take you a couple of months to build all of these out. So you start at the field agent level. If you're a brand new agent, this is fantastic. If you're a seasoned agent, this is fantastic, because you're dealing with a multiplier. You're going to see a multiplier that's going to give you listing leads. So based on a $400,000 price point, let's get into the silly money. We work on 5 listings. And because they're doubled up in our world, and I'll show you all those numbers in a minute, $960,000 a year. So even if you only hit a few of those properties and halve that at 450, that's not so terrible. Even if you hit a quarter of those, obviously that's not so terrible. So you start at the field agent level. That's what you need your zip codes for. Go ahead and get your zip codes at the end of this call. If you want to go into the VP role, which is where you're coaching, and you're coaching on Zoom 1 hour a week at either of these levels, we start you off at regional so you can earn your stripes basically, and we make sure that you're getting good reports on coaching agents. So everybody has to visit these at least 6 facilities. That moves you on to the next level. So as a regional, you're coaching field agents 1 hour per week on Zoom. When they're built out on the numbers I'm going to show you in a minute, that's $125,000 a year for an hour a week on Zoom, coaching the agents about how to do this. And trust me, it's actually pretty straightforward. Once you've been in and you've done a couple, it gets very easy. Maybe you want to be the state VP, so take over your entire state. At that point, you'd be coaching 30 plus agents, and you'd be doing an hour a week on Zoom. And that's in the lowest price point in the market, that's $600,000. That does not come from the agents. You're not charging the agents for coaching or any of that. Our funding partners actually paying you a small percentage of the deals that the agents do, because you're bringing people into the network. And most importantly, our guiding question is, are we getting this into the hands of seniors as quickly as we can throughout the country? So that whatever zip code you live in the country, we've got an assisted living CPO expert that can help you with that. Because imagine the seniors are moving in for an average of 29 months. That's not very long. That means on average, they're ending up in hospice or going home for the last few weeks. The last thing we want them to do is go through all the stress of listing your house. It is one agent the other day who personally listed their own house described it as brutal. Agents won't often tell you that, of course, but we all know that listing your house and selling your house is brutal. Now imagine being 80 years old and doing it. Maybe you're not. So maybe you're a little infirm and you're not moving around so well, or you've got a little dog you've got to take out. You've got to keep your house show ready for all the showings. And when you get 90 to 120% of a traditional listing with this, most people are more than happy. Most often you're getting more money than you would with a traditional listing. 2/3 of our sellers get more. And oh my gosh, taking all that stress away, and they can move into their assisted living in 2 weeks. They can get the great packages because they've got money in hand. They're not feeling that struggle for money. And if you're at the end of your life, you've only got a few years left, the last thing you want is all that stress. So what does it look like? The admin team build your list of 30 facilities. You can always add to it. You go and visit 1 a day or 3 a day until you've met them all. That's up to you. 10 days at 3 a day, or 1 week if you do the weekends, you've met them all. That's it. Once you've met them once, the expectation is you will meet them at least once. And then you follow up minimum once a month by phone. I've got VPs that are going out to see them again because it sort of makes sense. The more of a relationship you make with those marketing managers, the more likely they are to understand the program, like you, and want to help you. And then you go meet with the leads that they give you. So 30 facilities, which is what we aim at. That means every single month, that gives you 51 seniors who have to sell the home. So just stop for a minute, hit pause if you would, and think about how many of those 51 do you think that you should get to go to see that you can help, to help those seniors get out without all of that stress. So let's work it on 10%. So there's 51 opportunities every month. It's actually 85. However, we'll reduce it down to 51 because we know the numbers in terms of who doesn't need to sell the house, who's maybe sold the house already. So at 10% of those, and again, that's 5 of them, just over 5 of them, at the $400,000 average price point, that means $400,000 times 4%. I'm working on what I take. I take 1% on the way in. It's always my same buyer. I've got a template. All I'm doing is dropping the seller's name in. I'm always working on his behalf. So I take 1% on the way in and 3% on the way out. This does not look at if you're double-siding the deal. I'm trying to be as conservative as possible on these. So 400,000, and obviously if you're 800,000, double these numbers. So that's $16,000. Based on getting 10% of those, the 5, that's $80,000 a month in commissions. That's where the 960 comes from. So just half that if you're not comfortable, and say you're only going to get 5%. That's I mean, imagine this. You've been to see 30 facilities. That generates 51. So do you think you could get 2 of those people listed a month? Most of you who are great agents that know how to develop this relationship with the facilities. And again, there's a great video I'd want you to watch. There's a number of videos where the VPs talk about having done their 6, they go in and meet them and how easy this is. So you get to choose the commission too. This example is on 1% and on 3% on the sale. So you can put it at 6%. Our funding partners promise to support the buyer's agents throughout this period. So when you list it, you can do 6%, 7%, 10% if you want to, up to you. It's all about making the deal work. So what's the cost? You don't have to have a polo shirt or similar. They're all in the shop for you. They're all designed for you. You can just click a button and order it. That's about $45. You can get a $10 t-shirt with it on too. You want the book because you want to go in with the book saying we wrote the book on it. Adds credibility. Imagine when you're going in to see them and you've got the logo on your shirt and you've got the book with you. The Zips is a $175 setup fee, and start with as many Zips as you think you need to hit those number of facilities. That depends on the area, of course. The most popular one is this one, second to the 10 Zips. If you want to get started at the 1 Zip, you can always add more later, up to you. We do have something pretty special going on that I've been surprised at how many people have taken availability of it. So the state level for the first 12 VPs for assisted living, we have 6 different niches where we have these multipliers. So the first 12 in for $700 a month, most states have over 400 Zips, a lot more than 400. Some have 3 times that. So $700 covers you for 100 Zips. What I'm doing for the first 12 is giving the entire state to the VP. That means you can bring your agents in. I help you bring the agents in. All the advertising is done. All of the social media posts are done. This is such a compelling offer that we've got literally 300 people in line waiting to join right now. So it's not going to be hard for you to bring in those agents. The state level earns 0.25 of the deals, and that's paid for from the funding partner. That's a common question. Does that come out the agent's money? No, it doesn't. It's not that multi-level thing. So a field agent, so income streams, what do you get? 30 facilities, 600 plus. California is well into the millions. If you want to go to regional, remember you've seen 6, you have to go and see 6 facilities to get you there. You go see, because you get much more of a feeling for the program. And then you coach 6 plus agents for 1 hour a week on Zoom. So that, I haven't seen anything lower than $125,000. Yeah, 0.15% here. And if you want to, you move up to the state level. What does that look like? You do everything here, and then you're coaching 30 plus agents, 1 hour a week on Zoom. It's 0.1 down here. I haven't seen anything lower than 250,000. Most of the time, you're going to be the main person that moves up from the regional. So you're adding most of this money into this money. So I'll explain that if you're thinking about the VP role. So what does it look like? And you can pause this and take a look through it, of course. So field agent, regional, state. Weekly group coaching, always included free. One-on-one coaching, you can do $1,000 a month for one-on-one coaching. One-on-one coaching if EXP is included in the price. Referral fees, there's no referral fees. It's not like one of those programs. Think about this. All the programs you're paying hundreds of dollars for just to be in the program, and then you're paying 20, 30, 40% referral fee on the back end for the leads you get. There are no referral fees. Setup fee is one-off, $175. If you want to offer, if you want to have the whole state, $700,000 a month. If you want 10 zips getting started, that's the common one, $75 a month. If you want, so use of all the programs for FSBO expired. If you want the script for that, oh, it's very hard. Hey, Mr. FSBO, I've got an offer for you at $575,000. Are you available in 2 days for me to present it to you? What do you think FSBOs say? Of course, they all say yes. If you call an expired, it's, hey, Mr. Expired, I have my buyer, Mr. Bin, wants to buy your home. I have an offer drawn up for you, $575. If it's Monday, you make it a few days' time. Are you available on Thursday or Friday? That allows you to put it in. The vast majority get approved, and you've got a full offer to go in with. So this allows you, that's all included, the use of the programs for FSBOs and expireds too. Right to use the other 5 niches, the state level, the VIP, first right of refusal. So there's no extra zip fees on there because you're already paying that $700 a month. We've got all kinds of other niches, which I'll show you in a minute. The CEO of the 6 different niches, which I'll show you in a minute. You entry to interview, it's kind of a first right of refusal on there. Monthly expected when built out, $400,000 at the field agent level. That's 2 or 3 days a week. It's all listings. Yes, you're writing them on behalf of your funding partner, Mr. Bin. However, and so you get paid on the buyer side as well. It's double dipping on each one. However, it's all listing based. You're getting a certified pre-owned listing. It's all cleaned up. All the inspections are done. It's a really cool listing. Regional level, this is where you're an hour a week on Zoom, 125,000. Most of them are a lot more than that. This is for a very low price point in areas where the price point is 300 basically or lower. State level, I haven't seen anything below $250,000 hour a week. You have EXP revenue. Now, this works for all different companies if you come in because you're recruiting agents under you, which you get a lot of help with. The advertising is done. Like I said, we've currently, in 3 weeks, we've got 300 people standing in line to join because this is so unique. It's follow steps through 1 to 6 and make a lot of money and get out of that, door knocking and paying for leads and all the big referral fees on the background. I'm an agent. I like things to be exclusive to me. I'm sure you do too. So if you're in any kind of revenue share or profit share company, I can only speak to EXP. At the regional level, you're adding about $75,000 passive. At the state level, you're adding at least $150,000 passive. And remember, these 2 roles, both of these roles, part of your role is to coach all the people you're bringing on. So unlike passive income, where you're just bringing in an agent that might be new and you're throwing them out there and hope they produce and hope you earn some money because they're in your downline, that's not what this is. You're actually coaching them. And quite frankly, if you can't, you can't go out and meet 30 assisted living facilities at this field agent level, the people that if you're moving up into one of these 2 levels, if you can't go out as a field agent and meet with your 30, even if it takes you 2 months, and you're not bringing in those, because this it's such a compelling offer when you go in with your postcards, and we wrote the book on and everything else, and just the value in the offer itself. If you're not bringing in at least 1 a month, we'll ask you to leave. This is not about selling zip codes, because our guiding question is, are we getting this into the hands of seniors? Because it's such a great offer for them. Expectations. Field agents, 2 days in the week. That's because you'll be doing all these listings. Regional is an hour on Zoom. And then as you move up to the state level, it's an hour on Zoom. Visit your 6 in 2 weeks. Yes, that's a requirement. Visit at least 6 in 2 weeks to stay in the program. Otherwise, we'll refund everything. We will not refund the setup fee. We will refund that. You can cancel the zips at any point. Visit your 30 in 30 days. Yes, that's a requirement. At this point, as a regional basis, you're not in the field anymore. You're coaching agents because you've visited your 6 facilities back here. Same at the state level. Here, you're going to bring in 6 agents. We've got advertising. We've got social media posts. We advertise all of the time. This is not going to be tricky, guys. Bring in your state team of agents, 30 plus. It's the same as this level, basically, but you're doing it down here. And here's your monthly, is your expectations when you're built out at this $400,000 price point. This is not monthly expected. This is yearly expected. If we were doing $400,000 a month, I'm going back to being a field agent and doing this tomorrow. But you can see it's still good earnings because, you know, you're following a system, and this is very simple. It's make the appointment. Hey, I work with a lot of buyers and sellers, and they're always asking me to recommend an assisted living facility. And they almost always say yes, come on in, because you're being a multiplier for the assisted living manager, and they're being a multiplier for you because this is such a great offer to their people. Very easy to get in. You go in, you've got your t-shirt, you've got your book, you're filling in an online form that's check boxes, and you're explaining the offer. You can do that from the bullet points on the postcards you're leaving behind. And then you leave, and then you call them once a month. It's that simple. So here's an example of some of the ads that we do for you. This is one for Ash right here. This is one that we put out. He's the assisted living CPO expert, and he's building out all of New Jersey. So we're going to bring in agents under him, and he's going to coach the agents. These are social media ads. We've got at least 12 of these in every niche. So you can just copy these. You can put your name on there. See, my name's on here. You can copy these each time. We've got some with pictures, some without pictures. We've got a great landing page for you. If you haven't seen that already, go to AssistedLivingCPO.com. There's a TV ad level video on there that people land on and see, whether they're facilities or agents or people who are just searching for an assisted living piece. We also put press releases out there. We advertise on Wise Hire, and in 3.5, this is an actual figure copy from 3.5 weeks, 112 on the field level, 354 on the VP level. And remember, everybody starts down. This is actually the field level down here. So you can see it's an easy step-by-step that you're going through. So what do the career opportunities look like? Today, we talked a lot about assisted living. They're a multiplier. We've also got divorce CPO. That's what. So today we talked about going to see facilities. When you go and see attorneys, we say, hey, Mr. Attorney, we work with a lot of buyers and sellers. They're always asking me to recommend an attorney. Can you spend 30 minutes with me to tell me what you do differently? Builders. Hey, Mr. Builder, we work with a lot of sellers and buyers, and I'd love to come and see what you do differently as a builder. And you go and see 30. I promise you there's 30 of these people within 30 minutes drive of where you're at. We've got 6 multipliers, guys. So there's lots of opportunity here. We're starting with assisted living. Once you get to understand how to do this, you can do the rest of them standing on your head. But there's a lot of opportunity here. If you move to the VP level, if you choose to aim at the VP level, that's where you're managing a state and coaching agents 1 hour a week on Zoom. You can go to careers@cashcpo.com if you want to see a little bit more about this. then you've got the VPs, we'll have 50 VPs at that point. We'll choose which one we're doing next. It's most likely to be divorce, or it could be builders. Remember, a lot of people are building a home with a builder, and that new home's being built. They are putting off listing the house because they're not quite sure when the house is going to be ready. And then it gets to them having to sell the house, and oops. So when we go in, we explain to builders that they can offer the builder CPO program. And all of these are very similar. The scripts are very similar. You will see once you get assisted living down, which is the easiest one, you'll see how all of these work to help people in the field. What are the next steps? Go to cashcpo.com, go up to 4 agents and drop down to pricing. It looks like this. So you can get in for as little as $25. That's one zip code. Like anything else, the more you pay for on a monthly basis, the price drops. This is the VP level. If you think you might want to be VP, go for this level. It's a one-time setup fee of $175. The first 6 get the entire state for $700. If you are looking at aiming at, that's just if you're aiming at, if you like coaching, if you like training, if you're looking at that level. Once you choose your package, start here if you want to, just choose your package. Let's get you in the system. That means it triggers all kinds of onboarding programs and training programs behind this. There's a free weekly coaching. Every single week we do coaching at 1 p.m. EST, so our West Coast people can join us too. This is also available in Canada. There's over 1,100 agents on this. It is exclusive to a zip, guys. If you don't protect your zip, somebody else could come along and get it. And one of the reasons for making this video is because, honestly, we have 300 people in the waiting line, and we can't get to them fast enough. So I can't promise you I'm going to hold those zips for you, obviously. Go and get at least one, which will trigger that onboarding code and get you going. We can always add zips later. If you're going at this level, then reach out to Rowena Patton on Facebook or look me up. I'm not hard to find. Use the links below this, if there are any links below this, depending on where you're reading it. And we'll talk about what that looks like. Go back through the video, look at all the detail. We'll be also setting up those interviews. And that's it. That's our 2 to 6 listings on autopilot monthly. And that means, by the way, 4 to 12 units. That you'd have to be getting 1 a month from 51 opportunities. Remember that, to get 1 listing. And these are elderly people that are going into assisted living for an average of 29 months. They want help avoiding all of that stress. Hope that helps, guys, and look forward to talking to you soon.